It is 2022. You go into the wilderness and you get PK'd. For some reason, you are there and a PKer is there. At this point, it is just griefing. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about why. Let's talk about it. Yo, what's going on guys? My name's Chevalier here, and today we're going to be talking about PKing in RuneScape and RuneScape 3 in specific, and why I think it is basically griefing at this point. But before we get into this video, as with all of my videos, consider joining in the comment section down below with the discussion. I love reading your guys' opinions. I love having discussion. Honestly, like, the best part about uploading these videos, like, I really enjoy doing these commentaries, don't get me wrong. Like, I kind of got to a point of enjoyment of the commentaries where I'm literally commentating a video without recording it, and I should really stop doing that because I sometimes do some very interesting videos without recording them, which this is definitely one of them. But yeah, we've had discussion in the comment section down below, and that's like the best part about uploading these videos. Like, honestly, like, even if we disagree, people are civil, and I love that. Like, that is the best thing for me. So thank you guys so much for that. Like, honestly, like, I can't emphasize that enough. Like, I really do appreciate it. Also, if you're going to enjoy this video, consider giving it a like. It genuinely really helps me out with the algorithm and stuff. I know all YouTubers say that, but it genuinely is true. Like, the more likes it gets pushed more by YouTube, and more people will see it. So if you want to help me out, please do so. Also, subscribe if you're new, and without further ado, let's get into this video. Well, yes, this is going to be a controversial one. I can already feel it, because PKing in general, I don't want to say that PKers are toxic in general, but I feel like if you would have to make a top 3 of toxic players, I would put PKers at number 1 and PVMers at number 2. They're not far off each other, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying one is more toxic than the other, and especially in RuneScape 3, I think it's a lot less than in old school, but this video is not about old school. And I'm not saying PKing is dead in RuneScape in general. I think in old school it's a lot more alive, even though it is still dying. But in RuneScape 3 especially, yeah, what's the point really of it? Like, usually with all my videos, I start off with like explaining who this is aimed at, but this video is pretty much aimed at both the PKer and the people getting PK'd, really. And before we even get into discussions, yes, I am not saying, and I'm fully aware of the fact, if you enter the wilderness, you can get PK'd. I'm fully aware of that. I'm not saying, like, I'm not crying here like, oh, I got PK'd, blah, blah. No, like, if you enter the wilderness, you can get PK'd, and you should deal with that. Like, that is just the risk, quote unquote, that you take when you go into the wilderness. But that kind of also brought me to this whole idea of this video is there even a risk anymore? Like, genuinely, like, what is the point of getting into the wilderness for, as I said, both the PKer and the PVMer, completionist, whatever you want to call it, like the regular player that doesn't PK, pretty much, so like kind of the victim, without a lack of the better word. So what is the reason to go into the wilderness? Because in my opinion, there isn't really one. So I looked at the content for this video. Like, I looked at the content that is available in the wilderness. So the things that kind of jumped out there for me were obviously Chaos Elemental and the Revenant. That's kind of the PVM content available within the wilderness that people would interact with. And then I looked at the skilling content, where you have the safe cracking in the deep wilderness castle, up in that tower. You have the agility course, but even so, like, I know with the skull it's better experience than Anachronia, like doing a part of Anachronia, but yet again, at Anachronia you have 0 risk and you even make money. Yeah, you make money obviously by getting those manuscript pieces that make double search and double escape, and no, I think that's it. They make those 2 abilities, so even there, it's just probably more efficient to go there, even though it's slightly slower probably. But 1, you can't die, 2, you can get totem pieces, and 3, you can get those manuscript pieces, so probably better to go there for your agility anyway. And then you have the hunter, which pretty much you bring nothing and you get charms, which is untradeable, and untradables play a big role in my whole point, this whole video, but we'll get into that. And then you have the divination, which besides bots, I don't think anyone does. I think either people do caches for their divination below 99, or they do the Hell of Memories, or they just go to the highest spot and do it with Divine Conversion with the Archaeology Relic and all the boosts, because that nowadays is decent experience and no risk at all. And besides that, obviously you have the altar in the wilderness where, you know, you can save bones and stuff. And I can see that being good for Iron Man. But yet again, it's in such low wilderness. If you angle your camera correctly, you can log out before someone even can get to you. And for mains, you know, just use those powers for gilded altars or whatever. So in general, like, what is really the reason to go into the wilderness? And going back to the Revenants and the Chaos Elemental, going there, you probably bring untradables. At least I do. I just go there with War Priest, which is tier 75, and even the Vanquish or Anguish. And I mean, you can one item it anyway with like a scythe or whatever weapon you want to bring there. I never risk it. I just go there with the Anguish because the monsters are not strong enough anyway. So even if you just go there with tier 75 War Priest and like an Anguish and you Vanquish or whatever, I think it's called Vanquish, isn't it? Yes. The Vanquish staff, like the one you get from the quest, you're not risking anything at all. Like, you have zero risk because you're bringing untradables. The most you will lose when dying in the wilderness is some food. But an inventory of food is like 50k, maybe? Like, maybe bring a potion as well, like an overload, which, yet again, is untradable. So the PKer won't even get it. So at most, you will lose like 100k, maybe? And 100k in old school is still not a lot, but it's something. But in RuneScape 3, that is nothing. Like, literally, I use potions that are worth 100k to collect clue scrolls with like the attraction potions. So you're not risking anything, and the PK is not gaining anything. Same goes with safe cracking. The only thing that I feel like is a viable trading method that is located in the wilderness, you don't lose anything because you're getting untradables, and you literally bring your looting back in your stethoscope or whatever it's called, and you just chill there. And I think you can even bring your thieving outfit and you won't lose it because, yet again, it's an untradable. I'm not fully sure how untradables work. Like, I read up on it and it was a bit confused because it said you didn't lose them, but I don't know. Like, you might lose them, you might not. Doesn't matter. Like, just don't risk what you're not willing to risk or to lose, pretty much. And it's very easy to not risk anything at all. And with safe cracking, you don't lose anything. Same with the charming imps or charming moths or whatever they're called. You don't lose anything. Like, even if you bring that Vecna skull, something else, that like demonic skull that gives you the double experience boost, it's still not that great of experience, and it's charm, so they're untradeable, so you're not really losing anything for 500k. But that goes into like the point of the PK as well. Like, you're not losing anything as a PVMer. Besides not even losing anything, there's not really a reason to go into the wilderness. Like, you can, as I said, the only real reason is that safe cracking, and yet again, you don't lose anything. And I feel like I've been there for tens of hours just AFKing saves, and I haven't encountered a single PKer. So it's literally safe. And in general, the wilderness, of course, is that. But the only times I have encountered PKs, I've encountered them twice. Once when I was doing my herblore patch, which I'm like, dude, do you really expect me to have herbs on me? No, I banked them before going to the wilderness. And I hope that most people do. And I know the whole idea of like, oh yeah, but maybe I PK someone that has things on them. And I get that. I forgot something, by the way. Lava strike worms. That's the only other thing that I can think of. But even them, like, I feel like a lot of people just skip them because they're in the wilderness and they don't want to go through that hassle anyway. They're good money, but even so, like with Slayer, there are a lot of other good money makers anyway. So, yeah, sorry, I completely forgot about Lava Strike Worms. That's the only viable place where I could see people PKing and getting PK because you're risking something to kill them. And obviously there's loot involved and you can get them noted when you have the Elite Wilderness Diaries, I believe. I mean, I know they drop notes anyway, so I get that you can make some money there, but besides that, I don't really see anything in the wilderness, and I just think that there's no real reason to go into the wilderness at all, obviously besides maybe lava worms and the safe cracking, but yet again, you don't lose anything, and the diary. So you have this big piece of content that no one interacts with at all, like literally at all. And I feel like it's a bit of a waste. And the same with the PK. Like, you cannot tell me that a PK will find more than 2 people an hour when they're trying to PK in wilderness. Because, one, the wilderness is just dead in general. And two, it's difficult to, it's a lot easier to escape nowadays with like barricade, with surges and protection things and whatever. Like, it is not that difficult to tank people, even if you wanted to. Like, I was half AFK when I was nearly PK'd at the herb patch, and I still nearly escaped. I mean, I wasn't, like, my search literally messed me up because it searched the wrong way. It searched towards him instead of away from me, even though I was facing the other way. But that's just RuneScape physics for the win. That's besides the point. But in general, like, you cannot tell me that a PKer makes more than 1 mil an hour doing PKing in the wilderness. And it's literally just griefing at that point, because making a mil, like, literally, like, no word of a lie, killing chickens at this moment in time is 1.5 mil an hour. You make more money killing chickens than people in the wilderness. So literally, you're just annoying people at this point. And you're literally just griefing people because they're not losing anything besides time. And you're not really gaining anything besides, oh, I killed someone. And I don't think that is the purpose and should be the purpose of the wilderness at all. Like, genuinely, that should not be a thing. So I have two solutions for this. And they're both very radical solutions. And I'm very curious to see what you guys think of these as well. First one being completely just delete PKing from the wilderness and just add content to it, or get people to actually go in there. Maybe by removing the risk, people will actually interact with the content that is in there. I'm not sure what the psyche is of people, but just remove it at this point because it's just annoying. Like, everyone involved are just not winning. The PKers are not winning, and the victims are not winning either. So what is the point of it even being there? Like, you have this whole big piece of content that at this point just no one bothers to interact with because it's just a hassle. Like, the training methods there are not good enough to validate you going in there, and the risk is not big enough for people to go in there to PK because, well, people really don't lose anything. Like, obviously, you can go to Revenants and have some stuff on you. You can go to Lava Forms and have stuff on you. I get it. Like, I get it. Like, there are these off chances, but you cannot tell me that, like, you cannot tell me you make more money PKing or whatever. Like, you cannot tell me you make more money PKing, like, protectless victims than doing literally anything in the game. Like, go water rune crafting. It's 30 mil an hour. Like, that will make you more money than PKing, I can tell you that. And I feel like even PKing, like, actual PKing, like PvP, like player versus player that actually want to fight, is, like, dead as well and pointless in general. Because if you want to do that, you probably make an appointment with them, like, oh, okay, we meet here and then go there. So what is the point? Like, literally, what is the point of the wilderness at this point? Because I don't think people really interact with the content, because whenever I am there for whatever reasons, there is no one there. Like, literally, there's no one there. So I feel like either just delete it, like PKing there, not the area, but obviously PKing in there, so people might interact with the content, or, the other hand, give people a good reason to interact with it. Maybe update the demonic skull so it gives 4 times experience. Then the training methods are actually really worth it. I mean, still, I feel like all the training methods involve untradeable / wearing nothing, like agility, so people will still not risk anything, and, you know, they will just grief. But make it so you can upgrade the skull to like 4 times, and it will cost 5 mil, so you're risking 5 mil, so there's actually a reason for you to be PK'd. But still, like, I just don't see the point of PKing worth, like victims, pretty much, like people that are just there just doing their thing. But that is like the only reason I feel like people would go into the wilderness, if they get 4 times the experience with that demonic skull, maybe at a 2 mil or 5 mil risk or whatever, is like makes sense with, like, obviously the current demonic skull. So people that PK will actually make money, and people that skill there actually risk something, because I feel like there should be a good risk and reward system on both sides. But just in general, for like the people that go in there and skill, like, there should be a reason for you to skill there, whether that's higher experience rates, higher drop rates. Like, dude, even double the drop rates, like double the drop rates and have 4 times experience with the new demonic skull idea. Then people will actually maybe go to Revenants, because Revenants might actually be a really, like, it's a good moneymaker as it is, but it will be even better. Like, it will actually be worth the risk if you get double drops there. and, you know, get 4 times the experience that you normally get with everything. Maybe not safe cracking, but besides that, everything, because safe cracking already has like 800k experience an hour or something stupid, and it's like ultra AFK. So either do that. Even if someone in my stream mentioned something as well, where you like have an event every single week or every single day where for like an hour's time you get 5 to 10 times the experience or drop rates or whatever. So like people get drawn into wilderness. Like it's a big, huge broadcast. So like people risk that, and like, you know, people want to go to the wilderness to PK. Like either do something like that or completely destroy it, because in this current state it is just griefing. But let me know in the comment section down below what you think, because I'm very curious if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Yet again, this is not me pleading for like, oh, I go into the wilderness and I get PK. No, if you go into the wilderness at any point, whether it's dead or alive, you're risking you getting PK'd. So if you get PK'd, don't cry about it. Like literally do not cry about it, because that is just the area in general. So deal with it. But in general, right now, I just think it's griefing. So let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Also consider giving it a like. Sorry for this long rambly video, but I feel like it's a topic that should be properly discussed and properly just talked about, because I don't see people talking about it. And right now, we just have this big piece of content that is pretty much just dead content, whilst there's some interesting training methods in there and it's some interesting content, but yet again, the risk and the reward are just not worth it. So comment, like, subscribe, and without further ado, my name is Chef Elric. See you guys in my next video. Goodbye.